I need to smile. This should help. Oh, hi there. This is Smiling Friends, a show created by Michael Cusack and Zach Hadel, who you may know for their various projects and shows and cool stuff and whatnot. And Smiling Friends is another project from them that is, well, great. The show ran on Adult Swim from 2020 with its pilot all the way to 2026 with its third and final season. And in this video, I'm going to watch all 3 seasons, review them, and rank them, because in this video, I'm ranking every episode of Smiling Friends. Okay, so here's how this video is going to work. I'm going to go for each season and look at each season's respective episodes in order and just review them, talk about them, and then after that, after I'm done with every episode from a season, I'm going to show you my list for all the episodes of that respective season and how I rank them, and then I'll move on to the next season, and after I'm done with every season, I'll show you my total ranking for every episode in the entire show. Does that make sense? Okay, basically, if you've seen an Ellis Mark ranking video, that's just how I'm gonna do it, okay? Shout out to him, he inspired this video. Yeah. Desmond's Big Day Out works pretty well as a pilot. It introduces our main cast and we get to know what they're all about in the world they live in. Smiling Friends as a show has a very simple structure that works very well in its favor. Our 2 main characters are Pim and Charlie. Pim is a happy-go-lucky guy, and Charlie is cynical. That's the kind of rough archetypes of these characters. It's a classic dynamic though, and Pim and Charlie work at Smiling Friends, a company that, well, makes people smile. And it's here where we see the rest of our cast, like Alan, who I think does like more business stuff for the company. He's funny because the way he talks. Then you have Glep, who also talks funny and does nothing. And then there's Mr. Boss, who's cracked out in literally every scene he's in. Anyways, this episode does a pretty good job of introducing these wacky characters while also being funny. Pim and Charlie have a job to make a guy named Desmond smile. And you just expect it to be some random guy that's sad about something. You know, for a first episode, you'd imagine it be tame. And then they walk into his room and it's literally a guy with a gun pressed to his head. Despite this being the first episode, we're kind of just thrown in head first into how absurd the show can get. I really like that he just constantly has this gun pressed up against his head. It's really funny image. Like they're at the fucking dinner table and he's just like, he's just sitting there. I like Dave Land. Dave Land's pretty funny. Who's Dave? Anyways, this episode is just really funny, and like I said, it works pretty good as a pilot. And I also really like the way the 2 plots intervene together, with Alan's problems with the Bibblies mixing very smoothly into the main plot with Pim and Charlie. So yeah, this episode was a very good start for the show.
Hello there, I'm Pim. Would you like to be our friend?
Whoa! What the f***, dude? Don't touch me!
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Dude, what the f***? Why are you f***ing here, man? You're so old. Where's your wife? Go home to your family, dude.
The job for Smiling Friends in this episode is to help Mr. Frog, who's a very popular celebrity in this world, and he also ate somebody. Yeah. After the famous celebrity Mr. Frog responsible for the Mr. Frog show, you've probably heard of it with its 40-something seasons. Well, yeah, he tried to eat somebody, and so he got fired from the show, and they replaced him with Glep, and it's funny.
And it's funny.
You know, the whole plot of this episode reminds me a lot of like real life TV shows with Mr. Frog's evil shenanigans and firing from the show. Reminded me of 2.5 Men when Charlie Sheen got fired and then he got like replaced by Ashton Kutcher, and then he came back to the show to get fucking crushed by a piano. Oh yeah, Mr. Frog. Anyways, I really like this episode because it's funny, and Mr. Frog is really just a really funny character. Just look at this design. He's literally just a green guy without a head, with like a frog face on the torso and pants. He also says hello a lot, which is pretty cool. It's pretty funny. he's like, hello, I'm Mr. Frog. This episode is just pretty good with Pim and Charlie helping Mr. Frog, and that ending, dude.
You've been replaced, and here's the contract to prove it.
Top 10 most satisfying moments behind this video and Homelander's defeat.
Oh, you fucking shit.
Anyways, just a good episode, going at the top.
Probably working with all those filthy
that was really bad.
Smormu's in this one. I know him. Pim and Charlie help a shrimp voiced by David Firth, the creator of Salad Fingers. Anyways, this shrimp is sad after his girlfriend Shrimpina breaks up with him, and so he spends his days leveling up on Mouse Quest 2.
I just reached level 987413 in Mouse Quest.
I don't think this episode is as good as the last, but it has some really funny parts I do enjoy. I really like how the bit at the start with Pim thinking the worms he's eating are peanuts due to his bad eyes comes back when he mistakes the address as Shrimpina. I also really like the direction of this episode when Pim and Charlie split up. Charlie wants Shrimp to work on himself since he thinks finding the girl is kind of hopeless, and then we have Pim, who's very hopeful with getting Shrimpina back. It shows us these characters' personalities more. But then Pim finds the girl who he thinks is Shrimpina and falls in love with her, and he draws this stupid fucking drawing in his notebook. This shit looks like Sonic Chew. There's a lot of good bits in this episode, but I just think the last is much more memorable, just for introducing Mr. Frog, and it's got some more funny parts in it. But yeah, this episode was just a solid one, going below the last.
How do I look, yellow man?
You look like you're about to tell your friend not to come to school tomorrow, man.
Oh yeah. Smormu's dead. Okay, the first holiday special of the show. In this episode as well, a Halloween episode. It's time for Halloween and everybody's in their costumes except, oh no, the Halloween party's canceled because they don't have any firewood to make the Halloween fire. And so Pim goes out to the forest that's just across the street from the building. And Mr. Boss also warns him not to go past the rickety bridge because
You'll get lost.
I really like this episode as a Halloween special. It's got some funny moments I really like. When Pim goes into the cabin and he imagines his family and his wife and his two dumbass kids. And I also really like when this episode gets spooky with Pim running from a literal demon that just lives in the woods. This whole segment is genuinely intense, and we spent a good amount of the episode at the suspense of there being something within this forest, and then we finally see it and it looks fucking terrifying. And then Pim makes his way to the Smiling Friends building and this happens.
Whoa, is that fucking blackface, dude?
No, this isn't blackface. I'm an actual demon.
Bro, please tell me
Are
that's
you
not
fucking
blackface.
serious?
Cool, man.
No, you don't understand. I'm literally a forest demon from across the bridge. This isn't a costume.
Get the fuck out, man.
This is possibly one of the funniest bits of the whole show. And then they just fucking use this demon as firewood. Bam, conundrum solved. I don't know why the flip Mr. Boss is eating him. Yeah, we're just ignoring that. But this episode does have some good parts. It's just that it's more of a Halloween episode and the purpose is to spook. And while there are funny bits, they are kind of far and few between also. And then there's also these live action segments which are very blatant filler and really add nothing to the episode. I honestly forget that these are in this episode every time I watch it. And with that, this episode is solid, but it's probably going towards the bottom of the list. After Pim and Charlie see a movie, they decide they want a little something to eat, so they head on to Salty's, this really shitty looking fast food place that sells burgers. Oh well, they used to until they had to replace it with this. This shit looks terrible. Yeah, so in an outrage about this, Charlie goes to the back and finds out that Simon S. Salty, creator of Salty's, has been violently murdered. And so this episode revolves around Pim and Charlie interviewing each of the mascots of Salties. I've always thought this episode was like not the best, but this is actually a pretty fun episode rewatching it now. And the format of interviewing each mascot leads to some pretty funny moments.
Cleaning a stain off my costume.
A stain of what?
My own doo-doo feces, okay?
I think each of the mascots get their time to shine in their funny moments. And you guys notice when the Fun Twins talk and then Charlie goes,
Pim, how did you understand any of that?
could this mean the Fun Twins are from Spantopia in season 2? Maybe just a coincidence, but maybe not, because Pim understood them and he knows. Sorry, it's 5 in the morning right now and I haven't slept yet. Anyways, this episode is good and has some good moments, and the reveal at the end of the mascots all stabbing Salty, but then it being revealed that he actually died due to eating a burger was just very funny. This is a good episode, but something feels wrong about releasing these creatures onto the street. This guy now roams these streets and could just do anything in this free world, and I'm just not okay with that. Oh yeah, this episode's probably going towards the middle, probably under Shrimp's Odyssey.
Did we have to come all the way to China to do this?
It's what the egg wanted, Alan. You know what's messed up? He probably tastes even better right now than he did before.
You know, what do they taste like? I've never tried a century egg before.
Really? Okay, you have to try it at least once.
Pim and Charlie have a job to help the princess of the Enchanted Forest smile, so they venture into the Enchanted Forest, which is filled with tons of quests and fantasy stuff like aliens and shit. But then they get knocked out by a witch and dragged farther from the castle, and when everything's gone awry and dire, Mip comes to save the two, and so they venture with Mip, who has the style of those old Hobbit movies and it's really funny. This episode is a pretty good one and it's just really funny. I really like how Pim and Charlie switch roles, with Charlie getting immersed in the magical forest doing quests after quests while Pim progressively turns into Golem. And then when Pim kills Mip, it's just kind of sad. It's how Mip does that. That's f***ing creepy.
Freaking creepy.
Yeah, but it is kind of sad until we see the ending and realize that Mip was stalking the princess and that's why she couldn't smile. And was actually trying to send her a bomb.
They were made in a factory. A bomb factory. They're bomb.
This was probably one of the best episodes yet. The amount of different environments in this one, and you got this custom title card with Mr. Boss blowing it away, is pretty funny. It's just a very good episode. Going at the top.
Perhaps one day.
Oh, I love you, Daddy.
I can't believe after all these years, I'm finally here.
You kissed your dad on the mouth?
Okay, now this is the pinnacle of Smiling Friends. A new company moves in across the street from the Smiling Friends building, and oh no, it's the Frowning Friends. Instead of Pim and Charlie, it's Grim and Gnarly, and I really like the way the story goes in this Sonic Adventure 2 ass plot, with Grim and Gnarly causing people to frown and then Charlie and Pim getting framed for it. And there's just so many funny moments in this episode. DJ Spit, he's like, get out of my head. And you got the helium bit, just like really funny. I know they took that off Oni Plays, but it's still funny. And then you have 3D Squelton, and then there's the side plot with Mr. Boss, which this is the first episode that really focuses on him. You know, he's been in this show here and there, and I really like him in this episode. I really like when he goes,
Fuck, it's genius. Why didn't I think of that?
he really shines here. I really like when he goes into his thinking room and it's just like Green Goblin and Spider-Man and he's like looking at the mask. And then he goes to Grim and Gnarly with the gun after they just did a whole ass speech on why life is meaningless, and then this guy just pisses himself. This episode just has some of the best, most memorable moments of the entire show. I really like how that little subtle bit at the beginning where Charlie mentions that the Renaissance men are coming to town comes back at the end when they pull up and shoot Grim and Gnarly with arrows then leave. And then Pim's like pissed off because they don't look like Renaissance men. It's just really funny stuff here. A lot of good bits in this episode. It's just packed to the brim with lots of memorable and funny moments, and for that, this one's going at the top of the list.
Relax, man. I was just gonna shoot you in the head and kill you.
Hey, wait a minute, man. They don't think nothing matters at all, man. He was scared to die and stuff, man.
It's Christmas and Charlie is in a bad mood due to having to get a Christmas tree for Mr. Boss on Christmas Eve. And so after one of those famous realistic arguments with Pim, and this is like the longest one so far, they really talk like real people for a while. And so after that, Charlie tries to cut down the tree and dies. He goes to hell, which is frozen over. I like this episode a good bit. I really like seeing the setting of hell, and it being frozen over is interesting. It really ties this up and makes it feel like a Christmas episode. And then there's Charlie's grandma who's there for some reason. Charlie meets Satan, and they make a deal that if Charlie can make him smile, then he can go back to living on Earth. And so he makes him smile and gets sent back to Earth by God, voiced by Gilbert Gottfried. And all's well that ends well.
Well, right?
This is just a good episode and is a solid conclusion to the season. Pretty good Christmas special. It's just a good episode.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Oh wait, that's not the final episode? There's actually a 9th special episode where they go to Brazil? So a little while after season 1 premiered, we were treated to a brand new episode. And well, I like this episode a lot. The Smiling Friends crew are going to Brazil until everything just goes wrong, and what we witness is 11 minutes of the most realistic, awkward, and uncomfortable stuff ever. This is the episode with the most amount of the realistic dialogue, which they did in a couple episodes just as like one-off bits, but this episode fully embraces it. Every sentence people are stuttering, you got people talking over each other, and it just feels so realistic just due to this, the situation they find themselves in with Pim forgetting to check them into a hotel. This episode is truly one of the strangest episodes of a cartoon I've ever seen, just due to how the story's handled. It's not over dramatized, yet it's just like, I don't know. It has some really funny bits, like when this guy just walks up to them and asks if they're tourists. And just looking at the background and seeing more of this world, and then the blue ass Bart Simpson guy is really funny. And just watching everything in this episode unfold is just truly an experience. We're watching a real time unfolding of events. It is truly like there's like barely any cuts, and it's truly just a very interesting episode. Now this isn't like the funniest episode, but it's definitely an interesting one, and for what it lacks in being funny, it makes up for in just interactions. Okay, these characters talk. This is like the most we see Alan and Glep in an episode so far, which I really like. I really like seeing these characters a lot, and this is a very interesting one to end off the season. And you know what that means? We move on to the ranking. Season 1 of Smiling Friends is truly special. Now listen, just because an episode is at the bottom of the list doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. Right now I have a silly Halloween special at the bottom, and I would say that is still an alright episode, even good at parts. And the episodes at the top are just really good. And watching this show in order, it's also just cool. You can notice that the pilot is pretty rough with the animation, and then the following episodes that are released in 2022 kind of refine the style more, which is very nice. The show's humor is just kind of right up my alley. I gotta say, this show is like a mix of, I don't know, Aqua Teen meets regular show, and it's just perfect. And it's kind of strange when you watch the newer seasons and go back to season 1, because it's a little more quaint, and characters like Alan, Glep, and Mr. Boss really don't talk too much, I think the most Mr. Boss talks is in episode 7, and he's less kooky, he's a little bit more menacing in season 1. And then you have Alan, who is kind of just talks less. He's kind of just used for just kind of simple jokes here and there, if that. And the most he talks is the Brazil episode. It's very interesting to see how these characters are used and how they've kind of changed them over the course of the show. And saying that, season 1 was just really good as a whole and really funny, and introduces this show and its world in a good way with its episodes. And with that, it's just a really good season. And luckily the show got a second season released in 2024, so let's hope they can keep up the momentum with season 2 and its first episode. While walking to work, Charlie and Pim find a bum being sprayed by Alan, and they find out that it's the iconic video game character Gwimbly, who has fallen from grace, relying on cameos and shit to keep him afloat. And so Pim and Alan go help him while Charlie stays at the office. And then this insane guy comes and abuses the rule of the smiling friend must do anything to make the client smile, because them's the rules. And I honestly think this is one of the strongest episodes in the show. The two plots are honestly really funny and entertaining. Gwimbly is just a funny character, and he is really cool to look at since he has the style of a mascot platformer from the N64 PS1 era. And honestly, Gwimbly could be a stand-in for any franchise from that era that time has forgotten about and is just barely keeping up, like Spyro, Crash, Banjo-Kazooie. Then there's the company, which Alan and Pim go to see if they could help Gwimbly make a new game, but this guy says no because they have Troglore, which I mean could be representative of a lot of game companies, and you know, since they reject the Gwimbly game, Alan and Pim have the idea of crowdfunding a new one. So this guy just rides Troglore and fucking chases them to kill them because you would rather kill someone than make a new Gwimbly game. Okay. And then there's the subplot of this freaking maniac just putting Charlie through the ringer, just having him do the most random stuff and clearly abusing the role, which is funny. Okay, it's funny until he rips off Charlie's nose. That's too far, man. But I like how these two plots come together with, you know, the nugget guy coming in, the maniac kills him, that makes him smile, and then he leaves. And then Gwimbly and Troglore can now come together and just make Smash Bros. Boom. And then there's also Mr. Boss in here. I would actually play this. Overall, this episode just has a lot of good bits and is consistently pretty funny and entertaining. Season 2 is off to a good start.
Dude, I couldn't focus on what you were saying with that thing on your face. I was sick of staring at it.
It's time for the election, and the smiling friends have a job to make the president smile, who's played by an actual real-life guy, and he is also like the worst president ever. He just eats lamb and fucking shits himself. Now, I think this episode's alright. I like President Jimbo, but you know, when Smiling Friends does the real person bit in a cartoon, it's subtle and for like a one-off joke, so you see it and you're like, oh, what the heck? He's in a cartoon. But it kind of does lose its charm here. But saying that, I don't mind President Jimbo as a character, and I like the actor behind him. He gives a charming performance, and I don't think the episode's bad. This episode does have its moments, and seeing Mr. Frog again is pretty cool. I just think it kind of loses me when they introduce the worm cult, but this episode has its moments.
It's no secret that President Jimbo's America is poor.
There he is. That's the guy.
Corey, don't you agree we should all just get along and stop fighting?
Losing my fucking card!
Now listen, this episode, yeah, it has its funny moments. I like how Mr. Frog wins the election, and it kind of stays like that for a little while. You know, he's president. And I know people don't like this episode, and it's not my favorite, but it's not a bad episode by any means. It's just alright, and it has its moments here and there.
I got 10 G's says Jimbo's gonna win, and if he doesn't...
Then I'll take matters into my own hands.
I'm just kidding.
I'll do it though.
I'm just playing, dude.
No, I'm serious.
But no, I'll actually do it.
In this episode, Pim and Charlie go on their greatest, most grandest, and funnest job yet. Except here's the thing, we don't see it. Because this episode follows Alan, and it follows him through his typical day working at Smiling Friends, in which Mr. Boss requests that he needs to get paper clips. And so we follow Alan on this huge grand adventure to get paper clips, and I actually mean that it's grand. This episode involves a lot of really cool locations, and it isn't the funniest episode, like, yeah, it has some good bits, but I like this episode just because of how fast-paced it is, with Alan going on this huge journey just for some paper clips. DJ Spit returns in this episode, and we get to see this cinematic sequence with him after he steals the paper clips, and it's just animated beautifully. Like, this episode is probably one of the best animated episodes on the show. It's just very cool to look at, and then you have the stop motion pirates, which are just really cool, and then this thing. Just a lot of cool moments in this episode, and the reveal at the end that everything was orchestrated by Alan's landlord just because he wanted to smoke weed, drink diet soda, and play Burnout Revenge for the PS2 of Alan is really funny. And the paperclip thing with the old man from earlier in this episode is pretty funny also. Just a good episode, going right below the Gwimbly one.
I got those paper clips you wanted.
Oh, thanks, Alan. Well, like I promised, here's your reward. Open your hands up, son.
That's a little version of me, Alan. I want you to have it.
I don't really want this.
In this epic Halloween episode, the boss is getting married to a literal demon, like literally the daughter of Satan. And so the smiling friends must stop her before she takes control over Mr. Boss and sucks the life out of him.
There's a giant hole in the roof.
I really like this episode a lot. It's a pretty good one. I really like Mr. Boss, and watching this season, you can really tell that he is like the fan favorite, and they use him a lot more in the following episodes, and this is truly the start of that, with his own episode, kinda. Okay, well, it's his episode and the fact that his name's in the title, but whatever, he has his funny moments in this. I really like the style of his demon wife, Brittany, and I like how she transforms the Smiling Friends building. It's a cool change. And seeing that Mr. Boss is being taken control of, Pim, Charlie, and Alan figure out that they have to drain her blood before the full moon as they watch a tutorial by Nostalgia Critic. You know, that was a really cool thing to see the first time I watched this episode, because I grew up watching this guy. Yep.
Shut up! You're an idiot! You're a bitch! You're annoying! And you're a god-awful movie!
And I mean, how could an episode featuring the Nostalgia Critic be bad? This one has some pretty funny moments. The giant eyeball, Jumbo who scams Charlie, actually Jumbo. The Dr. Monster bit with Alan's pretty funny. Honestly, yeah, this is a stronger Halloween episode than the last, just because it's not totally reliant on being a Halloween episode and can still work as a normal Smiling Friends episode. It's a good mix of spooky and funny. I think this part's pretty funny.
You think I'm evil? You've misunderstood me.
Wait. Are you saying that you didn't suck the boss's life out of him and put him into a scary coma so you could take over the business and give it all to Satan?
No, I did do all of that, but you didn't have to be so nasty about it.
And then she jumps out a window. Pretty good episode. Gosh, this episode's fucking weird. Charlie and Pim have a job to help Professor Psychotic, this guy that around in the lab making homunculi all day. But the thing is, he lives with his brother, who is animated by Joel Haver, who you may have seen. He's got some funny videos. But yeah, Professor Psychotic and his brother don't have the best relationship. And so this episode focuses on Pim and Charlie helping Professor Psychotic reconcile with his brother so he doesn't get kicked out of the house. And yeah, this is a solid episode. There's a good amount of funny scenes in this episode, like the argument between Professor Psychotic and his brother at the start is pretty funny. I do feel like it kind of goes on for like a little bit too long, but that's also probably the point, you know, to make you feel uncomfortable, but it's still pretty funny. And then the part at the start where Mr. Boss pranks Pim and Charlie, having them think they're gonna have to make Jared Fogle smile at the start was really funny, okay? And Charlie being like hella mad about it, then having Mr. Boss do this puppy face, and then Charlie just goes from super mad to just pure joy because this is really funny.
Please, I'm serious this time. Please believe me.
Fuck off, dude. That's cheap. That's low-hanging fruit.
That one got you.
Yeah, the dog face. Yeah, the dog got me. Good job.
You love it.
Yeah, I do. You know me. There it is again.
Let's go, Charlie.
And Pim being like, alright, Charlie, let's go. It's funny stuff here. Also, really like this restaurant Charlie and the professor go to. It's very creative. You know, you grab a guy, do that, you dip him in this and that, and you eat him. That's cool. Oh yeah, the conclusion was just fucking weird with the two brothers fighting, and then this homunculus pops out mid-fight, and then that just solves everything. Like, that shit was weird, but funny. It was funny. Okay, I don't like when he was sucking their feet, though. That shit was weird. Yeah, this episode's good, with some pretty funny bits. Just a pretty solid episode.
Well, maybe if you two had a nice sit-down over a cup of tea and a slice of cake, you could work things out.
I ought to knock your block off, you little freak.
What?
After Pim and Charlie go to Pim's UFO hunting group, they get abducted by aliens, and also Bill too, who rest in peace. But after this, Pim and Charlie find themselves at a crazy alien party with these guys that pressure them to do some pretty batshit insane stuff, like destroying a planet. This episode's another solid one. I really like the animation of the two aliens here. It's pretty cool, you know, it's like some robot chicken stuff, and seeing space in this episode is pretty cool. and all the different alien types here are fun. It's a solid one, but it's also not like the funniest one. I honestly think it peaks towards the end with the flat earth part. Really funny stuff here. And then seeing Charlie get all worked up towards the aliens after they pranked them, saying the planet they destroyed was populated when in reality it was a ghost town, was also really funny. I like how expressive he gets in this one frame. And then there's Pim's friends at the UFO group, like Duncan. Yeah. And then this guy voiced by Dave First again. He's funny. Yeah, this episode's just a solid one. Probably gonna go towards the bottom though, as there are stronger episodes, but that's only a good thing, as it shows how strong season 2 really is. On to the next.
Everyone stand back.
That's a theremin, dude.
What?
Yeah, no, my uncle used to have one of these when he was in his band, the Red Gapers.
Mr. Boss and Pim set out on an adventure to Spamtopia to find a magical red jewel, while Alan, Charlie, and Gleb stay back and watch after the boss's son, Jason. This guy. I really like this episode a lot. Spamtopia, the place the boss and Pim go to, is really cool, and it just reeks of internet with the characters in here looking straight out of MS Paint. And the little details like the media offline fire are just really cool things to notice. Anyways, Pim and Boss go to Spamtopia for some red jewel, and they break the rules of looking into this guy's huge ass eye, because that's a rule here. Turns out this guy's the ruler of the whole town, and so they get executed. Okay, well they are, until the eye guy finds out that Pim is actually his old pen pal, and Pim tells him that he shouldn't have a rule so no one could see his eye, and that he should accept his eye because Pim himself also has weird, funny looking, obtuse, oblong, strange eyes. And so they break free from execution, Mr. Boss gets the jewel, and the ruler gets rid of the rule, and all rules for that matter, and the town immediately goes into chaos, while Pim and Mr. Boss escape. Then there's also the whole subplot of Charlie and Alan watching after the boss's son, where as soon as the boss leaves, his son Jason fucking dies. And we follow Alan and Charlie as they face that and immediately start blaming each other and fighting. And yeah, I like both of these plots. They're both entertaining, and it's nice to see some new dynamics with Pim and Mr. Boss, which we don't really get to see too often. And the way the plots come together with Jason being dead and Mr. Boss using the gem to revive him is very cool. Overall, yeah, this was a very funny episode and was very good. The setting of Spamtopia is visually unique and just a very cool episode setting. And with this episode, I'm noticing they aren't really doing the usual client episodes. More so, the resolutions of a lot of season 2 episodes are making someone smile, but it doesn't come until later in the episode, which is kind of refreshing. And it's nice to see them experiment, like with Oscar. The giant eyeball guy. But yeah, overall, this episode was very strong and is going towards the top of the list. Also, Tyler got fired. Fuck. Man. Well, besides that tragedy, this episode was good. Let's hope season 2 can finish off with a bang.
Pim, calm down. I have a solution.
Go on, take it, Pim.
What is it?
Cyanide. It's our only way out.
This episode title is actually a reference to how Pim was supposed to look, and actually has nothing to do with anything in this episode. Yeah. While Charlie and Glep are building a snowman made up of the most rotten objects, Pim joins and adds a flower, which happened to have radiation due to them being grown in Mr. Boss's radioactive waste. Yeah, and so this forms Rotten the Snowman, voiced by frickin' Master Shake. And so Pim hangs out with Rotten the Snowman, and this episode is just a really good one. It's a very feel-good Christmas episode, what can I say? After Pim accidentally teaches Rotten about life and death on accident, and the fact he's gonna die someday, Rotten freaks the f*** out, and so they have to prevent him from dying. I really like when they move him to this mountain to keep him from dying, but then he returns with this Yeti whose property just so happened to be this mountain. It's a funny scene.
If I see you again on my property, I'm beating your ass. Hard.
Well, okay, rude.
Huh? What's up? Yeah, that's what I thought. Fucking pussy.
I would have hit him, dude. I was about to hit him so hard, but my arm is so freaking sore from the gym or whatever. Like, I almost like laid him out, but I didn't want to yeah.
And then there's the part where Bill Nye comes and sings to Rotten on how death isn't scary, and then he just dies. That's really sad. Rest in peace, Bill Nye. But then Alan has the genius idea of leaving Ron in the freezer because he will never die in there. And so they leave him in the freezer until 4th of July when they take him out and he dies because of this ignorant fool. You fucking ignoramus. Oh yeah, then he becomes the whole ocean and Bill Nye's ghost shows up and that's the end. It's a happy ending. This is just a really good episode with some really funny moments. Bill Nye's song, the Yeti, and Mr. Boss really shine in this episode. I really like when Charlie just enamored by how funny Mr. Boss is. It's just really funny. And there's just some really good moments in this half Christmas, half 4th of July episode, and for that, this one's going high up on the list. Now for the ranking of Season 2. Season 2 was just a very good season and was an overall improvement on the last. A lot of these episodes were just great and very funny, and also none of these were bad. The ones at the bottom are just alright. A thing you'll notice with this season is that there's much more experimental. A lot of plots don't necessarily follow the client structure of a lot of Season 1 episodes, and rather episodes will feature making someone smile as something that is introduced towards the end. Or some episodes will just straight up not feature it, like the Alien episode. And I don't really mind them doing this and experimenting with the stories they tell and the structure, as it is refreshing. But like only 3 episodes really focus on the client structure, that being Gwimbly, Mr. President, and Brother's Egg. Anyways, this season was good and the experimentation is only a good thing. A thing I also noticed here is that they experiment a lot with character dynamics and character pairings this season, rather than the usual Pim and Charlie. We get Alan and Charlie, Pim and Alan, Pim and Mr. Boss. It's just very cool to see these characters and see how different pairings work and see how they interact. And on the same topic, a lot of these characters get a lot more focus this season, like Alan and Mr. Boss are much more prevalent this season, which is only a good thing. These are very funny characters, and an Alan Adventure is a very good episode. And I do like that they're expanding on the cast of Smiling Friends. It just feels so much bigger this season, and overall the world in this show just feels very thought out and planned ahead. Like the more you watch this show, like when I watch it, I notice certain things that aren't major in these episodes, but they do come back in future ones, and it's just cool to see as a viewer. And the most obvious thing I can say is that the animation is just really good. Like they do not cheap out on this animation at all. There's lots of different styles here. With the last episode I talked about Rotten Snowman, you have, well, Rotten the Snowman, who's made with claymation, lots of claymation. The Spamtopia episode wasn't like a different medium, but they still very much experimented with the art style, and that's only like, it's really cool to look at. There's lots of instances of stop motion and, you know, 3D stuff in these seasons. You have Gwimbly, who's very cool to look at, and overall it's just really cool. I mean, what else can I say? Season 2 was just great and was just Season 1 but better. And so of course we got Season 3. But before we take a look at that, let's take a little detour. So during Season 3 we got some shorts posted to YouTube, and let's check these out and do a mini ranking before we look at Season 3. So let's start with this one. Pim fixes his eyes, and this one's pretty funny. Not a lot happens as it is a 1-minute short, but just look at this guy. I love how stupid he looks with his tiny ass eyes. But yeah, Pim gets new eyes and Charlie's like, oh no, what happened? And Pim faces the regret of having small eyes and he can't change them back. So yep, that's it. After helping the famous client Roy Disney, Charlie and Pim suddenly notice that everything they had on them has been stolen. Their phones are gone, Charlie's iconic signature gold watch is gone, and it was the sneaky Roy Disney who done it. And so we end with Charlie chasing after Roy Disney while Pim calls the cops. Yeah, this one's pretty funny. Roy Disney is just a funny character. I really wish this guy was actually in an episode. Like an episode that focuses on what happened before this or something. But other than that, this one's probably better than the last.
I was thinking I wanted to tell you, okay, goodbye.
Okay, see you, Roy Disney. Yeah, see you later, man. Hey, Godspeed and safe travels, brother.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah, he really was, man. I really love that guy. But my wallet's gone. What? What? Really? Yeah, dude, my gold watch is gone too. What's going on? All the shit is out of my pockets.
You had a watch? Wait,
Yeah.
Wait a second, my phone and wallet are gone too. I saw Roy Disney do it when he bumped into you before he left.
Alan, what? You saw that? Why didn't you say anything if you saw that happen?
I don't know, I was in shock.
The Smiling Friends are playing a board game and Pim pulls the Devil Demon card and has to roll a 3. But he doesn't. And so he gets attacked by an actual demon. Yeah, this one's cool. That's super funny. I like the demon, and it's like 3D. That's it. Yeah, those were the Smiling Shorts. That was a fun little detour, and yeah, these are fun little shorts. They don't really follow a big cohesive plot, but they're shorts, so of course they're short. And yeah, I like Roy Disney. Anyways, all of these kind of rank very similar. It was kind of hard to rank all these because they're pretty similar quality, but I mean, they're cool little shorts and were a nice detour. Anyways, let's get on to the final season of Smiling Friends. Smiling Friends Season 3. And let's see if the show can end off on a high note of a season.
One, two, three, four,
Season 3 kicks off with Silly Samuel. In this episode, Pim and Charlie help the crazy, wacky character Silly Samuel, who looks very silly and wacky with his crab claw, cheese body, and wacky cuckoo clock head. But he actually wants to be taken seriously because everyone laughs at him due to his appearance, and so Pim and Charlie help him, while Mr. Boss and Alan are at the office, and an inspector comes and does a random inspection on the building. I like this episode a good bit, it's a solid one. Is it better than the last opening? I don't think so, but this episode's still good, but it's mostly due to how good the B-plot is. I really like seeing Mr. Boss and Alan paired up in this one, and it's really fun to see them handle this inspection. I really like the different gags they have with this part just showing us how fucked up this building is, and seeing the guy in the wall from season 1 was a really cool callback. He's dead now. The whole plot with Silly Samuel is just kind of alright, not a lot of funny moments, but one thing that is very notable here is that the animation and lighting have surely improved. Of course, you can notice Silly Samuel himself has some very good bouncy, wacky animation to really show you how wacky and silly and goofy this character is. But then we get to this part in the circus and it just looks really good here. I like the lighting's very good. But the main plot itself doesn't have like a lot of funny parts. I mean, there's this guy. The fuck? After the inspector pulls out the pin that literally holds the building to the ground, the Smiling Friends building starts to roll, and while everybody's watching Silly Samuel freak out and whatnot, he warns them that a giant yellow building is coming, yet no one listens, but then it magically stops because Glep put the nail back into the floor. Thank God. But then everyone realizes, oh wait, Silly Samuel was actually right. There was a ball that was coming, hurtling towards them at Mach speed, and so they believe him, and then they believe he's a god and a prophet and that everything he will say will come true, and people now take him seriously. And yeah, that's the resolution. I don't know. Yeah, this was a solid episode. It has some funny moments, not the strongest opener, but it was still decent.
Cool. So that's it? Hello?
Oh my gosh. Yo guys, it's me, Charlie. Hey, did that guy just turn into sand?
The conclusion to the trilogy of Mr. Frog episodes. In the first, he returned to his TV show. In the second, he became president. And now he has become the Emperor of Earth. And fulfilled with this, he quits being president and is now sad. I think this episode is a solid one. It has good moments, not necessarily like the funniest episode, but it has some really good moments. With Mr. Frog sad, the Smiling Friends try to cheer him up, and they do a couple of things like put him in the MMA, where he then becomes the #1 fighter without even throwing a single punch and kills like a bunch of people. And then Pim sings a song, and this gives Mr. Frog the idea to go on a journey. Well, after he kicked Pim in the face, but he goes on a journey to his family where he sees his dad, who is just a real actor painted to look like a frog. And this is a very funny scene. It's just due to how it's presented. This guy's giving us this beautifully acted speech. Not even a speech, this is just real life. It's a very sad and dramatic scene, but the thing is, this guy is shirtless and green, and he's talking to a cartoon frog. It gets kind of sad, you know. He tells him that his mom died, and after seeing everything Mr. Frog has done, he tells him he has no son, and Mr. Frog gets sad. But then he relaxes and finds inner peace, and I think this part is kind of funny with this bug. But then Mr. Frog eats the bug one last time and gains inner peace, where he is reborn as a real frog. And yeah, a very solid send-off to Mr. Frog. Is this the best in the trilogy? Not too sure, but we'll see in the total ranking. But overall, it's a good episode. Not a lot for Pim and Charlie to do here, but that's okay, as this is a Mr. Frog episode, and this allows for him to get more time for us to see his arc here. This was just a good episode. Also like when Mr. Frog pulls out Pim's eye, that's funny.
Did you want us to help you, or?
No, yeah, I do. I was
Okay.
just, yeah, please, hello.
In this episode, Pim and Charlie are suddenly pulled underground and kidnapped by Mole Man, voiced by Dave Firth, the guy that made Cream. And in their absence, Alan and Glep take over as Smiling Friends, going on a job to basically just babysit 3 little bastards that turn Glep into one of those LeBron James toys. I think this episode's a very strong one. It's weirdly kind of a meta episode if you really take a look into it, with Mole Man representing, well, fans and how creepy they can be. I mean, it's very obvious. I like how Mole Man just has them react the average day in his recreation of the Smiling Friends building. It gets weirdly meta here.
Just, you know, do funny stuff. Huh? Do your classic realistic dialogue with each other.
Hi, Pim. How are you doing?
I'm good, Charlie. How are you doing?
Fucking stupid thing.
Yeah, this is like that episode of Sonic Boom where Sonic gets kidnapped by that like crazy fan and then has him read like fan fiction and shit.
Packed out my Sonic fan fiction. I'll pick something family friendly. No, not that one. Oh, definitely not that one. Definitely not that one.
Yeah, go watch Sonic Boom. That is actually a really funny show. Like, it's got some pretty funny moments.
You know, Amy, anytime someone calls attention to the breaking of gender rules, it ultimately undermines the concept of gender equality by implying that this is an exception and not the status quo. What? Just because I'm a meathead doesn't mean I'm not a feminist.
Oh yeah, the thing about Mole Man is that he doesn't want anyone seeing his penis because it's disgusting, so yeah, that's why he kidnapped Pim and Charlie, because he doesn't want anybody to see his penis. He would yeah. Pim and Charlie are forced to make Mole Man smile, and well, Charlie doesn't follow along, and then they run away from Mole Man. And then there's this weird part where it's like this live action guy, and this is like this show's version of like Nosferatu from SpongeBob. Anyways, the two plots collide when Charlie and Pim are running from Mole Man and suddenly hear Alan and come up, and then they meet up with Glep and Alan, who are fucking hanging from a fan and being like executed by these 3 little bastards. But then Mole Man's about to kill Pim and Charlie, but then the mom of the kids comes up and likes Mole Man's penis, and that makes him smile, and they get married, and he becomes a dad and no longer cares about Pim and Charlie. Overall, this was a good episode. I really like the shakeup of having Glep and Alan being Smiling Friends in this episode, and the main plot is just a very interesting one and very different and has some very funny moments. Yeah, this one's definitely one of the strongest episodes in the show. Just a pretty good one overall, going at the top.
You know, I just gotta say, we avoided seeing it the whole time, Pim, and I just saw it right there, and it was not as bad as I thought. It looked pretty good.
The penis? Yeah, I saw it too. Yeah, it looked good. Looked like a good
because he hyped
penis.
it up and said it would be horrible,
Yeah.
and said it would be
I thought
ugly.
it looked delicious.
What's that?
I thought the penis looked delicious.
It's Halloween, and the Smiling Friends are celebrating until a nasty green witch knocks on their door and asks for a dime, and they refuse, and so things go wrong and everyone gets cursed. I really like this episode a lot. It's a very strong one. Everybody's just so mean-spirited towards Pim in this episode, and you feel bad for him, so seeing the ending is kind of satisfying. Well, except for Gleb, he did not do anything. I really like this episode a lot. It gets pretty spooky with lots of like body horror. There's ghosts. Alan gets turned into a spider, and seeing Pim at the end go on a rampage is cool. Even him killing the janitor is, oh shit, this was supposed to be the fifth smiling friend before the show began. And that's why some of the colors of the logo are blue. That's a little fun fact. Anyways, I like all the spooky stuff in this episode, and seeing Pyramid Head was honestly crazy to see, and the fact they're allowed to put him in this episode is crazy. This is a better use of Pyramid Head than in Silent Hill Homecoming. Anyways, have I mentioned that the animation in this episode is very good? There's like lots of different angles in this one, and it's very cool to look at. And then there's also a little stop motion movie that they watched in the beginning, animated by Lee Hardcastle, who made yeah, I like this short little segment, and I like how Mr. Boss is just very enthusiastic about it.
No, how do you do that? Like, what logistically, like, what do you do to make that? Like, is that like claymation?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's are you right, Mr. Boss? You're acting a little weird.
Yeah.
Shit, am I acting weird? Man, I'm sorry. I smoked a little bit of weed earlier. I'm being really annoying, aren't I?
No, you're good, man. Just have some water.
Thank you, Charlie.
Oh yeah, also everything that happens in this episode is fake and is actually just a vision from the witch's magical red orb. She's just showing them what would happen if they didn't give her a dime. And so Mr. Boss puts her in a full Nelson. Yeah, this is a great episode. It has some pretty funny moments, and the animation is very nice. Going high up on the list.
You had enough? Huh? You had enough? Huh? Tap out. Tap out, man.
In this episode, the Smiling Friends are on vacation, and after seeing a painting of the legendary brown blur, Charlie and Pim look to find it, so they can earn a shit ton of money. But after Charlie litters, they then suddenly stumble upon Mother Nature, and have to help her with all the litter. And then she goes insane and tries to kill all people who littered on her, like Charlie. But Pim saves him by littering in her, and bam, they saved. They killed Mother Nature in this episode. Yeah, I like this episode. It's another solid one. The style of the nature characters is pretty fun and cool to look at. I really like the use of claymation here, but the best part of this episode is easily the subplot where Mr. Boss is trying to get Alan to enjoy his vacation. This game that they play, Splinko, looks cool. This is another situation like the Silly Samuel episode where the main plot is okay. Like, it's good. And yeah, Mr. Boss teaches Alan to relax. Yeah. Oh yeah, there is no brown blur, and that's actually a picture of... watch the episode and find out. Anyways, this episode's another solid one and has some pretty funny moments.
Ooh, my cookies are done! Yay!
In this episode, Charlie fakes being sick, and Alan and Glep are leaving to go to a convention, which leaves Pim as the only worker at the Smiling Friends office. And with a very important job to do, Mr. Boss decides to bring back the first ever Smiling Friend he ever hired, that being Squim, who is this overly positive Pac-Man looking guy who's animated like a 90s Disney movie or something. I like this episode a lot. It's really cool to see the lore on Smiling Friends, and the subplot with Charlie faking being sick and then Mr. Boss finding him on Steam playing some game is really funny. I like how Maddie gets here, dude. It's just a funny scene. Mr. Boss tells him if he doesn't come to work, he'll be fired. Yeah, we got a real Benson moment here. Yeah, on the way to work, Charlie actually gets sick because he ate a parasite kebab, and this whole segment is nuts. He goes on this bus, and then there's this guy that literally shits out another guy, but then Charlie throws up, and the whole bus just gets mad at that. Did you guys just not see that guy that just shit out like a tiny Patrick Star? Like, what the hell is even going on here? And then we get to return to DJ Spit after a a long break from last season. I thought he died, which, I mean, it's nice. He raps over Charlie's insanity. It's cool. I like the animation here. It's pretty trippy. It's like some claymation animation. It's really cool. Squim and Pim do a job with this rat and maggot, and it's a pretty quick job thanks to how positive Squim is. And so they go get ice cream, and you know, it's nice at first. Until it isn't.
I miss her more and more every day.
Oh, your wife is dead? Oh, that's not positive. Oh, you gotta be positive. You gotta do the swim dance. Do a little swim, make a little love, get down, get down, get down.
Swim, I don't think that's really appropriate.
Why are you doing this?
Alright, Swim, we get it. That's enough, Swim.
This upsets Pim, and so they go their way to the office, and Squim thinks that Pim is upset because he's not being positive enough. And so he decides to help the cops who are dealing with Charlie, who's butt naked for some reason and fucking tripping out. Yeah, it goes about how you would expect it to go. He does the Squim dance and they shoot him. I like that they shoot his ghost too. That's just like, you gotta make sure he's dead, dude. And from all this, I think there's a very important lesson to learn from this, and that it's being overly positive is bad, and sometimes you need to be sad, because if you're overly positive during the wrong moments, you'll end up like this. Yeah, Squim survived after a long-ass surgery. Charlie gets this freaky parasite taken out of him, and it's freaky. And then there's this doctor character who's in the Silly Samuel episode, but there's this doctor character, and he's like looking at this, and he's like,
Dibs, mine then. You are so fucked, and you have no idea how fucked you are.
I don't, what the fuck is he gonna do with that thing? Overall, this episode was pretty good. It had some pretty funny moments, and it's a good Pim-focused episode, and both the plots are pretty good. I just really like a lot of things in this episode. It's a very strong one. Going below Mole Man.
If you don't get into work by noon, you're fired.
You hear me? Fired! Get in here!
Now, where was I?
Pim and Charlie have a job to help the Schmalugals in Schmalugalville. I'm saying it like Mr. Boss.
The Schmalugals in Schmalugalville.
So they go to Schmalugalville, and they have a broken machine, but that doesn't matter as Pim suddenly gets taken by a dragon, and we find out that the Schmalugals are being killed off by this wizard who uses them for his head. Because he's thinning. He's bald. And so Charlie prepares the Schmalugals to finally defend themselves against this crazy wizard, and I really like this episode a lot. I like how the Schmalugals are just Smurfs, except they aren't creepy as hell, and I like the version of Gargamel they got here. The part with the wizard and Pim right here is really funny when the wizard's asking Pim what jobs guys would have based off their haircuts. It's pretty funny. I also like the sick training montage with the Schmalugals. I like how they get hella buff just to walk up and be the exact size they were before. And also like a bunch of them get brutally murdered. It's funny. I like how simple the conclusion is too, of Charlie just telling the wizard to just use other stuff and not Schmalugal blood. And boom, everything's solved, and we get a wholesome ending where everybody just chills out at Wawa. Well, until this guy says this.
When we were storming the castle before and going up the steps, I saw you take a picture of Princess Schmalugal from underneath her dress. I just want to say I'm really not okay with that.
What? Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
I didn't do that.
I swear I saw you behind
Wait,
us.
not only did I not do that, it's not even possible. I haven't had my phone on me all day. I forgot it at the office. Look.
Gosh, I didn't know you didn't have your phone. Maybe it was just the way your hand was moving or something. It was...
Yes.
Forget I said anything. I'm sorry.
I mean, the vibe's ruined now, dude.
Fuck this guy. Anyways, this is a good episode. It's got some neat locations and cool set pieces, and just like a lot of episodes this season, the lighting's pretty nice, especially with the Wizard's Lair. It's pretty cool. I like this one a good bit.
You know what? I don't like dancing around. I've been repressing this for too long. Let's go kill that wizard! Yeah!
Hey, come on now, guys. We're Schmalugals, man. We don't fight. We sing and we dance.
After recapping everybody's stats for the year, Mr. Boss finds out that Glep does nothing except sit on the beanbag and watch stupid videos. And so Glep gets fired, and we get to see his backstory, and we find out the history of Glep spans a long way, like hundreds of years. This guy started the plague. This isn't necessarily the funniest episode, but it's still cool to see the past of Glep, and seeing that he and Mr. Boss actually founded Smiling Friends together is pretty cool. I always like seeing quote-unquote lore in this show, and they have been dropping quite a bit of it with this season, you know, with the Squim episode especially. But yeah, this episode's solid. It's funny that the entire building erupts into chaos as soon as Glep leaves, and then when he returns, Mr. Boss is just like, yeah, welcome back. This is a solid episode. Probably gonna go lower on the list though, as there are better episodes this season, but yeah. Anyways, we are on to the last 2 episodes now, which these came out after the announcement of the show ending. And so let's hope Smiling Friends can end off with these last 2 in a good way, in a smiling way, starting with the penultimate episode. After doing a job with this fat piece of junk, Pim and Charlie find themselves a robot that can do anything, and this leads to everybody using it for stuff like making pictures of Pim as a hot dog. Well, that's what Charlie uses the robot for, but this robot can do anything, so everybody in the office uses it for work and stuff so they can relax, and so Alan can paint pictures, and Charlie gets fat because of this, but this upsets Pim as the robot is taking what he truly loves, and that's his job. And that's when he's hit with a dilemma. Have the robot do his job and make everybody smile, or do it himself and well, do what the robot does but worse. And well, he makes up his choice of having the robot do it because it's the ultimate choice, right? Well, until everybody freaks out and fights over the robot, with Charlie using it to generate images, Alan, you know, he's using it for work, and Mr. Boss using it for yeah. And so they fight until Glip saves the day and unplugs the darn thing. And this is when we get a shocking revelation put upon us.
You guys are where?
Beep boop 1010.
This shit was actually super unexpected the first time I saw it. So we learned this guy pretended to be a robot so he could make friends, and he was actually using ChatGPT. I like this episode a good bit. It's a very topical one, you know? It's about AI and how it's bad. But yeah, it's a good episode. I like the song here, and the 3D models, everyone looks kind of cool. I didn't need to see that though. Solid episode.
Anything off? Oh, hello.
Hey, boys. Guess what?
What?
You just got a job.
Okay. We'll get on that. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah.
Cool. I'll text you all the info.
Sweet. Thanks.
Now let's see if the show can end off on a high note.
I've got some ideas.
Pim and Charlie get a job to help Charlie's uncle Smile, who we find out is dying, and is also voiced by John DiMaggio, the voice of Bender and Jake the dog. That's fucking cool. Anyways, throughout this episode, they just do what he asks. They get him pills from this fucking whacked out guy, they do a bunch of stuff, and yeah, Charlie's Uncle Bilbert is a bastard. He's constantly beating on Charlie in this episode, and Charlie just takes it, you know, thinks it's one of his bits or whatever. They get kicked out of a strip club because Uncle Bilbert has this fucking weird 3D dog that's literally just like Chop from GTA. Yeah, so they get kicked out, and then Uncle Bilbert spits acid on this guy's face, and they have to run away, and then they watch funny 3D creatures fight. Yeah, he grabs Charlie's money and bets on them. I gotta say though, those are pretty funny 3D creatures. Also, there is a subplot where Alan goes on a date, and it's pretty funny. There's this guy.
Hey, stop that horrible dancing! You suck! You suck at dancing! You suck!
I think both of the plots here are strong. And finally seeing Charlie's uncle after many mentions is cool. It's like seeing Eddie's brother in the Ed, Edd and Eddy movie. But it's Bender. Anyways, the cops arrest them for watching wacky 3D creatures go at it. After this, Uncle Bilbert tells Charlie that he actually isn't dying, it was just a prank, and that he's stupid for believing this. And so Pim stands up for Charlie and, you know, stands up for the shit that he's been given by Uncle Bilbert. And then Bilbert f***ing strangles him. But it's here where Charlie finally stands up for himself and punches Uncle Bilbert. And yeah, it's a satisfying moment to see Charlie finally stick up for himself, and that's all his uncle wanted, was for him to finally defend himself. And so they're all free to go. Well, except for Charlie's uncle.
No, you don't understand. He was just testing me the whole time.
No, we don't care about that stuff. He's the Cincinnati sex pest. We've been trying to catch him for 20 years.
Was that also part of the test? Or was...
No, that was more personal stuff, more like a side thing.
Yeah. Charlie and Pim then walk away with the 3D dog, and suddenly it runs off and oh no, it attacks Alan's date. But wait, what's that? It's the f***ing landlord from season 2? What? I couldn't think of a better way to end this episode off. Just wow. And that was the final episode of Smiling Friends, and wow, like usual for the season, the animation's good, lots of unique styles, and it's a funny episode, lots of good moments. But I just like the characters here. It's really cool to finally see the elusive Uncle Bilbert, and the reveal of the landlord coming back was just the cherry on top. Out of any episode that could have chose, this one kind of fits the most like a finale, and for that it's going very high, not only because it's the finale. I'm not putting it high up on the list just because of that, but it's also a very good episode, and you know, has lots of funny moments.
Look, I thought a lot about what you said the other day, and yeah, you're right, man. I'm just gonna be normal from now on. No more little jokes. Shake on it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, what is that?
I got you, Charlie. I will never stop joking around and being silly.
And now that we've covered all of season 3, it's time for the ranking. Yeah, there's definitely a big leap here. You can tell a lot from this season. It is the most different season animation-wise. The animation here is great. Lots of different styles like always, but there's like the lighting looks really good in a lot of scenes. Like the jump from season 1 to season 2, they improved upon some things. Season 2 to season 3, wow, it looks really good, okay? There are just a lot of really good episodes in here, you know. Mole Man, Squim returns, Charlie's uncle dies and doesn't come back. Lots of good episodes. We got like the best Halloween special. And you know, the episodes at the bottom of this ranking are just like, they're just decent, passable episodes, you know? Kind of good episodes. That's kind of the lowest this whole show has gone for a lot of these rankings so far. This was just a great season, and now it's time for the total ranking. Here we are, the final total ranking or whatever. I'm going to go through these episodes, read them off from worst to best. So here we go. A silly Halloween special, Mr. President, Desmond's Big Day Out, Who Violently Murdered Simon S. Salty, Charlie, Pim, and Bill vs. the Alien, Shrimp's Odyssey, Silly Samuel, The Glep Ep, Charlie Dies and Doesn't Come Back, Brother's Egg, Voyage and Coyobol du Monstre Grignol. I don't know what the f that is, I'm not French. Friendbot version 125892187318092135287968799521. A Alan Adventure. Pim and Charlie save Mother Nature. Charlie's uncle dies and doesn't come back. The Smiling Friends go to Brazil. Mr. Frog. The Boss Finds Love. Curse of the Green Halloween Witch. Schmalugels. Enchanted Forest. The Magical Red Jewel, aka Tyler Gets Fired. Squim Returns. Pim Finally Turns Green. Mole Man. Frowning Friends. And at number 1, Gwimbly Definitive Remastered Enhanced Extended Edition DX 4K Anniversary Director's Cut. That's it. That's all of Smiling Friends. This show is great, and looking back in retrospect, has been very fun. This video has been fun to make. Yeah, the show has ended, but I mean, would you want it to keep going? There's a lot of shows that keep going on and people are just kind of sick and tired of them, you know? Don't want to name any names, but there are animated cartoons similar to Smiling Friends that, you know, they're good in those first couple of seasons, yet they spiral into seasonal rot and it's not good. They're like corpses now. Well, yeah, I do want more Smiling Friends. I also do want the creators to be happy with Smiling Friends and not have it be a zombie. And with that, I think I can say this show is incredibly consistent. The episodes at the bottom of the list are like just alright. The only reason I put a silly Halloween special at the like worst episode is because it has like 2 minutes of filler. All the other episodes are just really good, okay? I'm honestly surprised this show hasn't done like a 22-minute special or anything, but you know, with the show being over, they could come back and do that. And who knows? Maybe the creators will want to come back, you know, sometime in the future to make another season or something. I don't know. But it was really nice to look back at this show and most importantly, rank it. Yeah, this was a very consistent show. It has some really good episodes. Yeah, it is a very funny show and it's one of the most unique adult animated shows out there. It's got just a certain style of humor to it. And with that, I think I can say this show did its job. And it made me smile a couple of times. And that was Smiling Friends. This video is probably way too long. But it was fun. If this video gets 100 likes, I will do Rick and Morty next. That is a show that has gone on a good amount of seasons, and yeah, that's one I also would want to do next if you guys want me to do it. Smiling Friends is a very short show, so it's pretty easy to do this. And with that, that was every episode of Smiling Friends Ranked. This show is good.
I've got some ideas.